All right, welcome everyone to another edition of the Sample Pack Challenge, a bi-weekly beat slash song contest that we run here at Soundtrap through Discord. My name is Anton, and I work at Soundtrap. I'm also a music producer with a background of about 15 years of making music. And with me, I have two of my colleagues, and I'll let them introduce themselves. You want to go first, Kish?
All right. Yes. Thanks, Anton. Yeah. For those you see me on the Discord, my name is Kish. I am a part of the Soundtrap team here, as well as being a music producer for 15 years, producing hip hop, pop, a bit of soul music over the time, using a different range of softwares. So yeah, excited to be hearing what you have today. And today, Anton, we've got a special face with us.
Woo! Welcome,
Soundtrap
Leah.
celebrity.
Thank you.
This is the real Soundtrap OG. This is the actual.
She's been in the game for a while, the Soundtrap
Yeah,
game.
that's true. Yeah, in October I celebrate 10 years, so very happy about that.
Damn.
So yeah, I'm Leah. I'm a music and media producer, I would say. So I'm working as a creative lead here at Soundtrap. I've been studying music at the Royal College of Music in Stockholm, and I'm mainly a vocalist, but I went into music production when I was about 15 and fell for that. So been doing it since.
All right. Thank you, guys. And today we have, like I said, another bi-weekly challenge for the Emoto pack. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Was it Emoto? That's right.
Yeah.
UK house.
A little UK house vibes that we are bringing into this bi-weekly challenge. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through, we've picked 10 finalists out of all the submissions that were sent in to us through Discord on our server there. And out of those submissions, we picked out 10 finalists because we can't do more than 10 in the interest of time. So if you weren't chosen to be one of the final 10, don't be discouraged. I keep telling you guys this. When I go through the all the submissions to pick out my favorite 10, all of the submissions are really of really high quality and it sounds really great. You guys are super talented. So if you didn't make it, it was like on a hair. Like you were really close. Everybody was close to making it into the final 10. So keep at it. Keep submitting those productions, and I'm 100% sure that you'll make it into the final 10 eventually. So don't get discouraged. But again, this week we're going to go through the 10 that I picked out, and we're going to judge it on the basis of 3 different criteria. One is creativity. How well did you use the pack? How creative were you with flipping the samples and making it into your own sound and your own personal brand? And the second thing we're going to look at is mix and audio quality. We want this thing to sound polished and professional, obviously. Is this production ready to go to the streaming outlets, go to the radio, wherever? So it needs to sound like it's top quality and ready for to be commercially released, right? The third thing we look at is musicality. How is it structured? How are the different elements used within the track? And yeah, anything else that I'm missing out on, guys? Good. All right.
All
So
good.
that's
All
what we
good.
will be looking at. And we'll each and every one of us will give a score from 1 to 10 for each track. And then we'll add up those scores to get a total score for each submission. And then at the end, we'll go through the top 3 to figure out who is the winner this time around. So without any further ado, I'm going to figure out how to share my screen so that you can see the list of beats that are in the final 10. And we're just going to kick things off. First up is, like he always is, Beneficator. Here's another submission. He's becoming a regular on these sample challenges. This is Beneficator's submission. Are we F for fun? Let's see what he's bringing to the table.
I think I'm in love right now. I feel out of touch right now. Maybe did too much somehow. Whoa. Yeah, I'm making it out. Too much to spend, I'm counting it out. Too much to worry, I'm busting it out. Too much to show, I'm showing for clout. First I hit it purely for fun. Last two got me begging in hell. Savage, stupid, thought I was done. Are we fucking for fun now? Are we fucking for fun now? Are we fucking for fun now? Whoa.
It was explicit. Sorry.
Are we fucking for fun now?
Woo! All right.
It's gonna be a lot of beeps in there.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. Way to set things off, Beneficator. We always appreciate when we get a vocalist to submit something to us. Sorry guys, I'm starting off here. Yeah, we've heard the vocals of Beneficator and his productions a few times now, and I think this has got to be my favorite so far. I think you are becoming better and better at building up your beats, going from intro to bridge to build up to drop, and then figuring out how to use a climax and a hook in your productions in a very cool way. And it's not easy to do in just 1 minute. So kudos for that. And I also love that you are developing your vocal mixing skills. This is sounding like way better than you used to sound like just a few weeks or a few months ago. So it's good to see you're progressing. Yeah, I don't really have any constructive feedback. Maybe a little bit more crisp on the vocals. Great use of the side chain as well. I love that. This is like pretty close to like a perfect submission, I think. But yeah, a few kinks to work out here and there, but you're definitely getting closer. I'll give this an 8.
Yeah, I would say I haven't heard the vocals before, so this is my first time, but it sounded really good. It was really smooth mixed. And I love the build up. It stayed interested all the time. You didn't lose it anywhere. I stayed focused. So yeah, I really liked it. So I would give it a 7.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, Beneficator. Good to see you back here. I think this was I'm from the UK, obviously, and UK house is something I'm big into at the moment. So I love hearing the arrangement of this, and you putting the drop where you did was the right time because it gave the track an uplift halfway through. So I thought that was solid. I think there was a lot of use of some of the original Emoto loops, which is okay, and it's part of the challenge. But I think you added your creativity through the vocal, and then I like the fact that you chop your vocals up into the beat as well, just to make it feel more consistent. My sort of tweak that I would have liked to hear from this to be better would have been, I still think that with your vocals, I'm trying to figure out, there's something about the vocals that doesn't sit completely right with me. And I think maybe it's either it's too far forward in the mix, or even if it's something perhaps from a melody angle, could you have tried to add in some different melody lines to increase the range of notes you're singing, perhaps, to make it a bit more interesting at points? I can't put my finger on it exactly. If I think about it more, I'll get back to you. But again, like Anton said, every week we're seeing you progress there. So the mixing is getting cleaner, and that was only positive from my end. So for me, it's a good 7 from you this week.
All right, another 7. So we got an 8 and 2 7s. And I already gave you this feedback, by the way, Beneficator, on Discord, that you can tell that there's an accent there, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you learn how to use it to your benefit, right? So sometimes an accent, a foreign accent, singing in English can be like a cool thing. And I'm not the one to tell you how to do that perfectly, because I don't know how to do that perfectly. But if you figure that out, like, it can be really sick sounding to have a guy like rap singing in English with an accent. So keep working away at it, and I'm sure you'll keep sharpening your toolbox and your skills. Let's move on to funny chroma guy. Let's see what he or she is bringing to us this week. All right, anyone want to go first?
Yeah, maybe I can start. I like this. It was interesting. I like the samples in the beginning. It was like watery, metally. I love that. I don't know how they have done it, but it sounded really good. And I love that it's like it was a Skrillex vibe to it, with the like dubstep is coming back, or I don't know. But really, yeah, I mean, the effects were really good at the synthesizers. So kudos to that. One thing to improve could be the levels between those synthesizers and the backbeat. The beat is sort of like drowning when the synthesizers are coming in. So like the levels between those instruments, like the bass, the synthesizers, and the beat, could be a bit more leveled up to each other. So it's all of them are clear at the same time. So maybe it comes to like when it could be that you need to bring the bass out from the synthesizers to make space to the beat and the kick to come in front of the mix as well. But really, really good. I like this one. So I'll give it an 8.
Nice. I can go next. Yeah, from the start, you had me hooked with that sort of bicep-like synth, which is quite stuttery, quite captivating on the ear. So I think that was really nice, and I think your use of synths and that genre's special effects was amazing. Like, it's not a genre I listen to loads, but I could tell that it was very close to what it's supposed to sound like, and it felt very authentic, is what I'd say, and creative, because it was catching me off guard with the way you were placing it. I was like, whoa. Constructive feedback on this one. I think I would have liked to. I felt I was missing low end on these headphones at least. I felt like I would have wanted more bass, especially in moments when you've got like a big drop. Think about what frequencies are occupying those low end. I don't know if you guys maybe felt different on your headphones. And also that hi-hat at the start, I would have liked it to be mixed a little bit further in the background, or if it's going to be that prominent, change the velocity, is what I'd say. But overall, really solid entry and a strong 7 for me.
All right, an 8 and a 7. And creative-wise, you get a 10 from me. Like, this was, I think it caught us all off guard with the use of instruments and effects in this song, or in this production. I really think like it was a solid drop there when like the dubstep elements came in, but I think you could have done that drop a little bit more effective or impactful by letting it like suck the air out of the production and then come back in like really strong. So look at that like drop transition before the dubstep beats or beat starts coming in, and see if you can make use of a compressor or like the side chain to make it like more like it's like a big wave coming in and taking out all of the sounds and then blasting back into your face. Other than that, it sounded great. Like both Leah and Kish mentioned, like I think the mix could have been worked on a little bit more. You could have carved out some space for like the bass, like Kish mentioned, both Leah, just to make, because there was so much stuff going on, right? So if you just work on like carving out different sections or space sections for each element and each instrument, I think you'll have like an even more like a more impactful mix on your hands. But still, like creative wise and everything else was really impressive. I want to give this an 8. All right, so
All right.
we get math, like 16 plus 7 equals 23. All right, moving on. Next up, we got
I like the name Funny Chroma Guy as well.
Funny Chroma Guy. Yeah, you get a golden star for a creative name. Next up, we got L Force with Swing.
Okay. Hey. Oh, that's fine.
Sorry.
Everyone was vibing too.
Yeah, I got caught up in that. Yeah, no. Like, yeah, if you don't know, like if you're over a minute, like we're gonna cut you short and not let you finish your project or your production. So make sure to try to keep it under a minute. Yeah, Kish, you want to start out with this one?
Hey, L Force, I like this. This was good. Lots of compliments on this one. I think I like the use of the chords at the start and the sort of lo-fi-ish elements that you were texturizing it with. Really quite interesting. And I know L Force is, I've like heard some of his stuff before. I think he's a bit dancier, so I was kind of expecting him to do something interesting coming up. So he didn't let down. It reminded me of that sort of Fred again, the style of electronic music, which is smooth but also dancey and very melodic. And yeah, I really enjoyed this submission. I almost feel like with the genre, it's like a slow builder, right? So he or she would have kind of built it up further, and I would have liked to see where it could have gone as well. So 1 minute is challenging with this pace, I guess, to see your full vision, and I would have liked for it to evolve, and I would have liked to think the arrangement grew. But from what I heard there, that was very solid, and honestly, no real critiques from me on that. So I'm gonna say for me that's a very solid 8.
Yeah, I love this one. I love the soundscape that this person was creating with use of, a rotary or like something. That was really, really nice, and great use of the reverb on the synths as well. It like blended them together in a really good way. I love the unexpected beat change when it started to, pump. That was really good. Great vocal sample, was so good to this song. Yeah, I mean all good balance between all the instruments as well. I like the mix. I have nothing. Yeah, it was a really good mix. So a solid 9 on my end, I would say.
All right, our first 9 today.
Hey, actually, you know what? I want to change mine. I think I had nothing. I had nothing to critique.
This was a 9.
Yeah, 9 is also what I want to move my score to.
Wow! All right, 2 9s back to back. All right. So I guess it pretty much comes down to me what kind of score I'm gonna hand down. But like you both have mentioned here, the beat drop or the beat change, the switch up at the end was just phenomenal. You saw us here like vibing out to this, like we even forgot the time. Um, so that was perfect. Like at the end of the beat, I thought you like pretty much nailed it. Like as far as a beat like contest goes, this is as good as it gets. I personally did not like the first section with like the regular drum pattern coming in. I thought it was a letdown because you like built up like an intro and then those like more the simple drum pattern came in, which I didn't see. Like I didn't think that fit well with the rest of the instruments, and I thought it's like, ah, shit, you failed on the drums. Like you picked the wrong like drums and drum pattern to go with this amazing like sound like uh, canvas that you've laid down. But then obviously you switched it up at the end, so you saved it. But if I'm a listener on Spotify and I'm like skipping through songs, right? And I'm not happy in the first 30 seconds, I'm going to move on to the next song. So you might have like, you might want to think about like getting the, or capture the listener earlier than I think the beat switch came at like 40 seconds, something. So think about that. Like you want to go with like your best weaponry early on to show the listener that you're for real, and that the listener is in for a ride. So I'm not going to give a 9, unfortunately. I'll keep it at a 7. That's still a good score, though. Brings you up
strong score. Yeah.
25. All right, moving on. Next up, we got Mafia Money, and he's a familiar name in this neighborhood. So let's see what he's able to cook up this time. All right, Mafia Money coming in with slightly longer than 1 minute as well. It's all good though. All right, I'll start out by saying, Mafia Money, we know you can make dark trap. It's time to switch. Like you need to show us something else. This was like the perfect opportunity to do that because this was a UK house pack. So we want to see you like how like diverse are you in your production skills? Are you able to create different genres? Not saying you're like a bad producer, like you're magnificent at creating trap music. Like we know this, but show us something different when you get the opportunity to with like a pack that actually has like different vibes to it than just trap music and dark trap. But still, like this is a great production. Obviously, I think you might be clipping on a few instruments. It sounded a bit distorted here and there, so you might want to check those meters and make sure your kicks and snares and your 808s are not clipping. But other than that, solid production. But like I said, I want to see something different from you, Mafia Money. So I'm gonna give you a 6 for this one. Don't kill me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go next. I think this was a good submission, and yeah, we've heard this style from before. We know this is your playground. And I've got a slightly different opinion from Anton. I feel like if you know your style, play it in that world. So I wasn't expecting a full-on house track, but maybe even within the trap space, I think you could be doing something different arrangement-wise or creatively to make it feel different even in the world you play in, you know, like think about don't just do the same arrangement, which is typical in trap. But I feel like, look, for an artist, they might be looking for something like this as well. So I also see what you're trying to do, but I think trying to develop your own sound as a producer is really important because, like, if I was to compare this song to other trap songs I've heard, it sounds very good, but there's nothing unique about it in that sort of breakout way that will help you stand up in the crowd. So try to think about, what's that differentiating factor you got in your space as well, is what I'll say. But it's a very, very solid track beat. I think like the elements all right, your 808s are nice. I like the sort of main keys sound and the whatever that was doing within the trap world. It gave it a nice feel. The hi-hat work, unbelievable. Like the hi-hats were like great, and the rhythms and the syncopated patterns you were doing, that was really having me off my head. So lots and lots of good stuff there. I think I would like to have had more space in the beat at certain points. So don't fill up all of the frequencies all the time is what I'd say. And especially when you've got a lot of different elements, think about that. But it was a strong 7 from me. Over to you, Leah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time me hearing Mafia Money, so I cannot compare with anything else in this this track. But I think it was, I mean, the mix was quite good. There is some improvement when it comes to panning. It feels like everything is in the middle right now. So could you work a bit with panning, like put the hi-hat a bit to the right, put the bass a bit to the left to give some space to like the interesting high pitch instruments, so they can come forward in the mix, because there were very interesting elements in the background, which was like muffled right now because it was a lot going on. So giving space to some tracks. So I mean, next step for this person could be like, how can they implement elements from the current challenge into dark trap? So like Emoto, UK dance, how can this person take in elements from UK dance into dark trap and make it, work? And also like next step could also be like collaborate with a rapper. I would love to hear incorporated rap, but this is a perfect trap, dark trap background. So can we next time hear some rap, some vocals? I would love that. But it's a solid 7. Solid 7. Like it.
Thank you. Yeah, get on those collaboration channels on our Discord server and find an MC, a singer, or someone to collab on your next beat with. There's tons of people in there to just waiting to work with you. Okay, so Mafia Money's got 14, 20 points total. Let's move on to the next submission, which is Maidenless.
Let's go.
So you thought old me would convince this me that young you was bad news, and he'd send me back home and we'd break up.
I had to try. I mean, he's the love of my life.
And it wasn't misguided.
Stop. The plan was a disaster. The movie fell apart. Careers ended.
That's not the story I saw. I saw a story about you, or another you, the Ramona I left. She was looking for me, looking for answers, never giving up. Like that famous detective.
Columbo?
I was gonna say detective. I sort of feel like I'm on drugs when I'm with you.
All right, Maidenless once again with the vocal samples. Which I'm not gonna go first. I'll let you go first, Leah or Kish.
Yeah, I can say. Interesting to use conversations in a song. Could be a bit more interesting with like chopping them up, put some effects on them, making them stand out more. And I would say like it took too long to like get into the song, as we spoke about earlier. I think maybe the beat, like the song, it could be coming in earlier, so you're not losing interest. But yeah, it's great. I mean, the mix was really good. Interesting with using conversation, as I said. But yeah, I'll give this a 6.
6 from Leo. Thank you. Did any of you guys recognize any of the samples, conversation samples that he used? I'm sure it's from like a movie or something. And if Adam was here, I'm 100% positive he would have recognized.
Yeah.
So Made Him Less was trying to like flirt with Adam with using those samples.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what they.
No.
That's what I'm suspecting, but I'm not sure. That could be the case.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah.
like, I agree with Leah. Like the vocal samples. First of all, like, there were a lot of the samples that you couldn't even make out. You can understand what they were saying. And I when I like have a conversational vocal sample, I want to be able to tell what they're saying, because it should have some meaning, right, for the song and for like the whole experience of listening to the song. So you might want to look at, like Leah said, add some effects to those vocals to make them stand out more, so that the listener can 100% tell what the persons are saying, or the speakers are saying. I thought the first, like before the drop came in, where it was just a vocal, that was like 2 bars or even longer, maybe. Yeah, I think it was 2 full bars of like where the music stopped and it was just like a vocal or like a sentence. That was a bit too long for me. I would have shortened that down to like half a bar, or just 1 bar at a maximum. But very creatively, like a mindfulness song where it's like I could just like go for a long walk and listen to this in the background and have like movie samples playing for like 20 minutes and trying to recognize which movie it's taken from. But as far as the mix goes, it sounded like the high ends were a little bit too squeaky, hurting my ears a little bit. So you might want to tame those with an EQ or compress those high ends. Because they were a little bit too sticky, too much sibilance going on up there in the high ends. So yeah, some improvements to work on, but it's always fun. You know, you're going to get something interesting when Made Unless contributes to the to these challenges. That's for sure. So I'll give you a 7.
Nice. I'll do me quickly. I think you both covered the main points with this one. I think Made Unless for me, this was, I didn't love this one, if I'm being honest. I felt like at the start you were going to do a Fred Again style direction where he takes vocal samples and like incorporates them really nicely into UK house. And I think there was too much conversation for me. There was not enough like melodic arrangement changes or musicality changes. So the direction was there. I'd encourage you to go study Fred Again, because I think he does it amazingly. And if you've done vocal samples for a number of weeks now, so I can tell this is what you really enjoy. So think about what sample he's using to convey what tone and what feeling. Like one sample that he uses, "We've Lost Dancing," and then he repeats that in certain right places and includes it in the drop. But also you need space where there's no vocal samples. So I know you can do better than this, because we've heard some of this stuff before, so I'm going to be a bit harsh on you here, but I want to give it a 5 in mind.
All right. So that brings Made Unless to a total of 18. I think 11 plus 7. Yeah, that's 18. All right. Moving on. No time to spare. Octave. I don't know, to be honest. All right, thank you, Octave. And I think I remember you submitting this, and the reason the song is called "I Don't Know," to be honest, is because you were hesitating to even like submit one of your tracks because you didn't feel like um, you were on the same level as the rest of the submissions. But I'm here to tell you that you are very much on the same
Yo,
level as the rest of everyone else sending in submissions. So keep doing what you're doing. This sounded great to me. Great build up, great arrangement. The different tracks were balanced in the mix as far as I could hear. I thought this is a solid like beginner stage production, and if you keep going at this rate, you're gonna be pretty awesome very soon. So just keep doing this. I I wasn't a fan of like the instrument. I'm not sure what instrument it was, but it was like a slamming sound that came in at around the 30-second mark, which added on top of all the other, the foundation that was laid down. Not sure if any of Leah or Kish knows what instrument I'm talking about. Feel free to jump in. But yeah, around the 30-second mark, that instrument, I would have replaced that with something else, a different sound. But yeah, like you are in the running for sure. So keep doing what you're doing, keep sending in your songs, keep getting feedback from people, and I'm pretty sure this will work out for you. But I'll give you a 6.
Yeah, I can go next. I think it was really interesting track. Like from the creativity, I would, have a more distinct build up and distinct parts. So like it's more of like something is gonna happen after the build up. So it was like the same now. So could you add the instrument? There was like a mid synth coming in. I don't know after how long, but that could come in straight after the build up. So like it's a distinct change with after the build up that would have done so much to this track. Also, maybe the bass could be worked on a little bit. It was a bit too loud in your face. So maybe put that into the mix a little bit better. But I liked it. I'm gonna give it a 6.
all right. Yeah, no, same for me. I think firstly, like the name, Octave's a cool name, so that's a bonus mark there. But yeah, I can't believe you weren't going to submit because I thought that beat was like a really strong contender, especially from an elements perspective. You had all the right elements, the percussion in there and the percussive patterns really stood out to me, and I think that's like might be one of your strengths. So I want to see you double down on that because I think it can really make or break the style they were trying to create. And I think there's a DJ who I came across called I Had a Dream. He had a song with Skrillex recently, and he's amazing at percussion. So if you don't know him, check him out as well. And I think that's someone good to be inspired by. I think you both have called out the obvious elements that needs improvement, but overall, really, really strong direction. And you know what? I think I'm going to say you've just edged a 7 for me. So I'm going to give you a little mark there.
All right, good job, Octave. That brings you up to a total score of 19. Good job. Moving on to the next submission, which is Rudra, another regular here at the Soundtrap challenges. Let's go. right. Any takers who want to go first?
Yeah, I can go. I love the vocal samples. They were really nice. They were really nice mixed. Great use of reverb on, I think it was both synthesizers and vocals. It blended very well together. When it comes to the synths that came in, it could have been a bit more interesting. Could you build on a repetitive theme so we can like start to recognize the melody? Yeah, so maybe work on the melody a bit more to be a bit more melodic, or as I said, repetitive. So you can start build on a theme for this song. But I mean, the mix was really good. It's a solid 8 on my end.
Oof. All right. An 8 for Rudra. I can go next real quick. I thought this was obviously an amazing production. As always, Rudra, you're getting better and better each 2 weeks that we listen to your submissions. But I felt like Leah said, you need to work on the top melody, find that hook that makes the song distinguishable, and it makes you recognize it and be like, oh yeah, there's that melody. So find something repetitive, a theme that goes throughout the song that you keep coming back to. That's a good takeaway. The drums stuck out a little bit too much for me. That those could have been blended in a little bit more with the rest of the instruments. Maybe look at some reverb, maybe more compression. Work with like a little bit of automation in the stereo field to pan those drum instruments from side to side a little bit more. Yeah, just create some more space for them. Other than that, like solid production as always. This gets a 7 from me.
Nice. Yeah, I can go now. Yeah, Rudra, good to see you back in the top 10 though. And every week, I'm hearing new elements to your game. I'm thinking, for me, you both have touched on, like I share your sentiment. I think there could have been moments where some of the melodies used could have been a bit more interesting or refined. And if we had some of the other samples, think about L Force, like he had some really nice arpeggiated keys and things like that. So could I've had more of that in here. Drums were solid though. I think I liked the beat. I liked your arrangement as well, and I felt like there was different. Like in a minute, you took on a bit of a journey and ending with that snare fill to carry out the song. So I thought you got good marks from me on arrangement. A few small things there to tweak up. Think about that. I think you've got all the right elements from a production and foundation perspective. It's more, how do you bring that together and make it a bit more authentic, a bit more like tighter? What's that one message you're giving with each track? And I think you anyway. So for me, I think I'm going to give you a 6 this week.
All right. And that brings Rudra to a total score of 21. Not bad at all. All right, moving along. Next up is the Dame with the Emoto submission. All right, thank you. The Dame. Want to go first, Kish?
Yeah, let me jump in. The Dame. This was a good submission. It had almost all of the elements that I needed to like. Have been one of my favorites I had today. But like great use of the vocals in the background. I love the way they were sampled in, and the placement like slightly further back in the mix throughout it. The build was nice and came at the right moment in the minute for me as well. And the drop had all, arrangement wise, it had all of the right elements. I think like when you think about what I wanted, what came in and out, and you gave all the elements like the sort of right place. Where it unfortunately lost marks for me is the mix, and the elements weren't as clean as you want, especially in this genre of music. And some of the things that you need to think about here is if you've got a kick drum playing, or you've got even on that first note of the drop, that bass I think was overpowering everything, and it was just like it kind of lost the punchiness, which is what I wanted. And your kick and your snare especially weren't present in the mix. I think maybe something like instant sidechain or some of the sidechain hacks that people are talking about on Discord could have helped you a lot here. Look at and listen to some dance music and think about like what are the main things that could be done to bring space to your mix, because arrangement wise you've got it, is what I say. I think you just need to like clean up the mix, and this would have been a really solid entry. So for me, this is a 6 this week, but I'm looking forward to hearing more what you got.
Leah?
Yes. It was really interesting. It was a good build-up, as you said, Kish. But yeah, I also missed the actual, breakthrough when it went to the double tempo. And also one idea that I got when listening to it, like the drums, usually in UK dance, it comes in like on a syncope. So it's very like unexpected. That could be something that this person can work on as well. So instead of coming in on a 1, which is expected, coming in on a syncope and 1 instead of on the beat. That would have made this, this breakthrough really, really interesting. I also missed out like the mid of the whole project, like some body. Could you add like a synthesizer that is just laying out the chords, filling up the body of the song? I was missing the mid part when it comes to to get the full track. But it was really interesting, great build up. As you said as well, could use some side chains on some instruments here and there. But I mean, the submission's really good, so I'm gonna give it a solid 6.
Another 6 from Leah. Yeah, just repeating what everybody's saying. Keep watching mixing tutorials and how to use mixing effects creatively when it comes to electronic music. And you'll get there eventually to get that, final polish to make it sound really lush and professional. And you fill up the whole space with your production and your soundscape. I personally would have wanted some more like ecstasy at the end. I was missing like a kick drum to come in to get that pump going, in the final part of the song. So you could have like worked with the different drum elements a bit differently, because I was expecting more chaos to come in, and I didn't really feel like I got that from the latter part of the song. So those are the 2 feedbacks I have. Other than that, like you're on your well on your way to success in this challenge. So keep at it. You get another 6 from me. So that gives you a total of 18. Okay, so we got 2 more to go. And next up is Yogan with WIF, whatever that stands for. Maybe we'll find out.
Where's it going? One minute.
Oh, what is up with these cheaters, though?
Yo, that drop was actually like on the minute mark as well.
Was it
so-
really? So we
Yeah.
shouldn't even have heard that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
but that, yeah.
And that was the thing that might have like done it for you, Mr. or Mrs. Yogan.
hmm
Yeah, someone want to go first?
No, great parts here and great changes in the parts. It was a perfect beat for this genre, in my opinion. I really liked the flow in it, and I think the mix was pretty good. I think maybe the synths in the beginning was a bit too like in your face and loud. So maybe you could put an EQ or something on them to like take a bit of the high off. But otherwise, I think it was a great submission. I'll give it a 7.
All right. A 7. I'll go ahead and say that I thought the arrangement was just pretty close to perfect. And all the transitions, the beat drop there at the end that we weren't supposed to hear, but still did. So we'll have to take it into account, I guess. But yeah, the only thing like a little bit more like bass. I was missing some of the low end, I think. And I think the kick drum was a little bit too weak. Maybe look at a different kick drum or try mixing it better with some compression or side chain or something to make it like, put that thump on your chest when you listen to it. I was missing a little bit of high ends, and I think these headphones are pretty decent, so I shouldn't be missing out on any bass sounds. So look at that next time around. But this is going to be my highest point. I think I'm going to give this a 9 because I thought other than that bass kick or that kick drum, it was pretty close to perfect actually. So yeah, you get a 9 from me.
Whoa. Yeah, we need like a horn or a sound effect when someone goes in time out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's it. Someone edit that in post.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a cool entry for me. I think there was different parts that felt structurally together, and I think that first build was nice. If I'm to be critical, that it almost felt like I was wanting a drop on that first build, and then you kind of gave us a second build leading up to the drop at a minute. And I mean, normally I think in the real world that's fine, but I think in the competition's sake, actually, if we had hit stop dead on that 1 minute, you would have had 2 builds in that 1 minute, and I don't think that would have been that wouldn't have really been fair. So I'm going to try judge you based on having not heard that. So then most of that minute was 2 different builds where the quality of the sounds and the selection was good. I don't think you gave enough for me in that time to that I would have wanted. But like Anton and Leo said, I think the sound selection was good. Your choice of progression was good. But for me, it's going to be a 6 because of the reason mentioned.
Okay. So, Yogan, that brings you to a total of 22. I think. Yes, 22. All right. We only have one more submission to go through. Kind of sad, but all good things must come to an end. So, last one today is Zorro 007. Another submission from him or her. This one is called Bless. Let's check it out. right. Thank you, Zorro. 007. Anyone want to go first?
Yeah, I'm happy to take this one first, Aurora. Um, I can see your vision with this one. I think there's like creatively, I think that was really strong in terms of your elements and your layers, and I can feel I felt that sort of violin line or the strings line that you had in at one point. I thought it was a really interesting choice of instruments. Now I could tell that maybe you weren't thinking about space too much in a mix. And I remember when I first started producing, I was just trying to layer different sounds and add in layers and layers and layers, and it becomes this amazing creative, um, magical sort of thing in your head. But when it translates, and when I was showing my music to people, they'd be like, "Oh, there's actually a bit too much at a point." So there was lots of different contrasting instruments and sounds for me, which I would have probably stripped back a little bit at some points. And the kick drum, the sort of Jersey club type of kick drum, was nice, but I didn't love the clap and the other percussion that you added to it. So actually, if you're just on the kick, I would have probably preferred that fit into a space. More, I actually didn't know what genre it was going to be at the start, so it was kind of very open. And actually, what I would say is your first 6 seconds really were good, which it caught me off guard. Like you had like a 1 or 2 bar loop, and then you had a complete gap in audio and a little swirl before you brought us in, and that had my attention. So it was a really nice start to the track. I think clean up the mix a bit is what I'd say. Think about the right element. Think about not overproducing, and that's the thing that is very common amongst producers, because we just love to fill every space. But think about what the right instruments, the right things, go in the right gaps. So for me, this is a 6, but I can see your vision, and yeah, just keep at it, because there is some beauty in that. But you need to find the right levels and the right balances.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Kish. It was really interesting instrument choices. I think it was really interesting to have like a low end guitar on there in the beginning that like was the drive of the song. Could have kept going throughout the full song, but like changing the EQ on it a bit could have been cool. When it comes to the drums, yeah, it went into the Jersey beat there. Maybe it should have stayed when it actually came in and not go away again. So like have a steady, when you're introducing a beat, keep it steady for a bit longer so you're not mixing different tempo. It was not tempo, but like different beats. So like a more steady beat throughout your composition. And same with when it comes to the mix. Here, everything is in the middle again. So work a bit with panning here to make space for the different instruments. We have some blog posts about how you can use panning with all the instruments that you're using in your project. So maybe have a look at that and try to, go for some examples that we have on the blog. But yeah, really interesting submission here. I'll give it a solid 6. Good work.
Another solid 6. Yeah, Zorro. The thing about this contest that we host here is that it has to be within a minute, right? So what you have to do in that minute, because we judge it on creativity, is to really showcase your whole like toolbox of what you're able to do with your music. And it's challenging, right? But it's supposed to be challenging. If this was like a 3-minute song, your submission would have been very nice, because then you would have had like a hook to come in, or like a bridge, and then something else to take you somewhere in the song and the listening experience. But it felt kind of monotone in this sense, when we just want to hear like short bars of like different transitions and different stuff coming in and happening. And that's something you have to consider going forward, is to really like show off your different types of like production skills within 1 minute, right? So keep taking on that challenge. And
Yeah, that's the tough part. Now you mentioned
yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
Because we are. This it's not like a normal format what we're doing here.
No, it's not.
Like,
So like you can't do 16 bars of like a loop with the same instruments. You have to switch it up after a couple of bars because we judge 1 minute and we need to be like fully engaged in the experience. So that's something to consider for everyone who's taking part of these challenges, is to really like bring out the big guns when you put together these arrangements.
Yeah, it's hard though. I can
Yeah.
imagine.
It is tough, but keep at it. And once again, I want to reiterate that if you didn't get picked, it could be one of two reasons. One is that you have been a prominent contributor to these challenges before and you've been in the top. So we kind of want to let other people eat a little bit and, get some spotlight shone on them in these challenges. So that could be one reason why you didn't make it this time. Like, we expect a certain level of you if you've been in like the top 3 before, even if you won. Even more so if you won the competition, we expect you to be on like a totally different level if you want to be in
definitely.
another challenge. So that could be one reason. And another reason is that you didn't quite make it because there was something like a slight tiny thing that was missing from your production that didn't quite cut it into the final 10. But with that being said, all of the submissions were very close to making it into the top 10. So it was hard to pick out these finalists. So keep at it, listen to these songs and, study them, study the arrangements and the mixes, and keep coming back. There's another challenge in, like next week. I think we drop another sample pack, right? So
Wow.
keep coming back. So without any further ado, we should go through the top 3. And if you haven't, if you've done your calculations already, you might have figured this out. But let's just list them and start with position or in 3rd place, which is, drum roll, Beneficator at 3rd place.
Congrats.
Yeah, solid submission once again. Looking forward to hear what you come up with next time. 2nd place, we have Funny Chroma Guy. I think we all remember the dubstep submission that he brought to the game this time. So that leaves us with 1st place, and this week it's none less than L Force, or I think it's L Force with Swing. So just to remind ourselves, let's listen once again to the winner of this week's sample pack challenge from the Emoto pack. Here's L Force with Swing.
L Force.
And big congratulations to you. Woo! Let's get it.
Hey.
Yeah, you won it even though you cheated on the time limit, but
yeah,
we'll let it slide just for this one time. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Kish, for joining me once again, and big thank you to everyone who sent in their submissions, and a big congratulations to L Force for bringing home the victory this time around. We'll see you again soon. Anything you want to add, Leah or Kish, before we sign off?
No, I mean, great work, everyone. I really enjoyed this session. Can I be a part again, maybe?
Hell yeah, you're always welcome.
Sure.
Yeah, but really
Sure.
good work. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
that's it. That's
Um,
it. Yeah, great. Just great work from the community. Just want to say, I've just been seeing everyone help each other as well, and that's been one of the beautiful things in this journey. So, like, keep being supportive, keep growing together on Soundtrap. We're here to guide you as well, and we're all on this journey to help everyone become better producers. We're going to give you the tools to do so as well. So, let's
damn
get
right.
it.
Let's
Sharing
get
is
it.
caring.
Sharing is caring. We'll see you again soon. And until then, take care of each other. See you on Discord. Bye bye.